What will you be when you grow up?
Someone as smart and as wise as you, Grandpa. Because you know everything and are so cool.
Sota, you really... I look forward to your future. We have to live a long life, right? Right, Soya?
I watch my grandfather and father laugh, and my grandmother gently watches over them. Even now, I can clearly picture this scene of happiness. I thought it would last forever. Grandpa. My beloved grandfather passed away. The news of his death suddenly reached me while I was on a long overseas business trip. And now, my grandmother, whose legs and back have weakened, keeps calling for Grandpa beside me.
Hey, thank you. What a nice day, Sota. The cherry blossoms are beautiful, and Grandpa must be happy.
Yeah, you're right, Grandma. After the funeral, we went outside, and the spring air felt so crisp, it almost hurt. The cherry blossoms had passed their peak, and the petals danced gracefully in the breeze. I wonder if Grandpa is watching from above.
Grandpa loved cherry blossoms. He's probably having a drink with Soya and enjoying the cherry blossoms.
My father, Soya, had a chronic illness that worsened the year I graduated from university. He passed away soon after. My mother was diagnosed with cancer when I was in elementary school, and she passed away much earlier. Dad? Mom? Did you get to meet Grandpa? I'm Sota Furuichi, born to kind parents. I'm 29 years old and work in the international division of Blossom Trading. I never imagined Grandpa's health would decline while I was away on a business trip. I'm in charge of expanding the overseas market, and I travel a lot. This time, I had been away for an extended period.
Man, that was tough. Dad was such a handful.
Yeah, really. Even when he was bedridden, he refused to go to a facility. It was a real pain.
The unpleasant voices of my uncle and aunt that cut through my heart. Since I entered university, my uncle and aunt had been living with my grandparents.
Being the eldest son is tough. There are these unavoidable obligations.
My uncle, my father's older brother, had always been cold to our family, even though he cared so much about his public image.
Well, that's enough. With the stubborn old man gone, the grandma can go to a facility now.
Finally, we can get rid of this burden.
What? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Yes, Grandma's legs and back had weakened, but she was still healthy. By the way, when my father said he would live with my grandparents, they denied it and insisted on living there instead. I glanced at Grandma, who was smiling gently, looking at the cherry blossoms.
Don't make such a scary face, Sota. I knew this would happen.
Grandma.
I wonder what I can take to the facility. I have so many memories with Grandpa.
Grandma shows no sign of blaming Uncle and Aunt. Watching her, Grandma, how about we live together?
Sota, you're really... It's okay. You don't have to cry. Thank you, Sota.
Even if my uncle and aunt oppose it, even if I have to change jobs, I'm okay with it. Now, I only have Grandma left. Both my parents and my grandfather have passed. My only remaining family is Grandma. The day I said goodbye to Grandpa, I decided to live with Grandma. The day of the funeral, I immediately took action. I contacted my boss, explained the situation, and was prepared to quit.
You don't need to quit. Your skills will surely be valuable in other departments.
Huh?
Yes. Recently, the head of sales department praised you and said they'd love to have you. So don't try to be brave with that worried voice. Don't worry. I'll handle it properly. Your father helped me a lot too. I hope I can repay a little of that.
Thank you, manager. The manager told me how she worked in various departments whenever there were changes in her life stage. I'm glad I joined this company. Thanks to the thoughtful actions of my stylish boss, I was able to transfer to the sales department as soon as possible. Uncle, Aunt, I'm going to live with Grandma. I continue to have discussions with my uncle and aunt every day while preparing for the transfer. At first, my uncle rejected me with a bitter expression, but I couldn't back down.
How are you going to take care of her when you're always on business trips abroad?
Right. In the end, if you're going to leave her alone, it's better for her to live in a facility where she can feel safe.
I've already submitted my transfer request, and it's been accepted. I'll be in the sales department next month.
What? The sales department? You?
Yes, that means no more overseas trips. I won't leave Grandma alone.
Sota in the sales department. Oh, I see. In that case...
My uncle thought for a moment, then smirked slightly.
All right, if that's the case, then I suppose it's fine. You can do as you like.
Thank you, Uncle. Afterward, my life with Grandma began. My uncle and aunt are now living in the house my grandparents once shared. Grandma, I'll help with housework when I get home from work. You don't have to do everything.
I'm fine. If I don't use my legs for housework, I won't be able to move at all.
I'm worried though. Grandma will be alone a lot during the day. I decided to live with Grandma, driven by my emotions. But the reality isn't as sweet as I hoped. I'll make sure Grandma knows how to contact me in case something happens, and then head to the office. But Grandma might hesitate to contact me. Maybe living in a facility would have been better for her. She could have lived in a safer, more comfortable environment. As I muttered these thoughts...
Huh? Sota? Is that you? What are you doing here?
Eh? Otoha? Is that you? I'm surprised. It's been a while. This is Otoha Hashimoto. She's been my childhood friend since kindergarten. We went to the same school through middle school and high school, and then went separate ways in college. She's a special woman to me, unlike anyone else. Unfortunately, I was running out of time for work, so I just exchanged a quick greeting and headed to work. This is delicious. As always, Grandma's boiled dishes are the best in the world. That night, while having dinner with my grandmother, I exclaimed this.
Sota has always loved boiled dishes. There's more if you want.
Grandma, you remembered that.
Of course I truly care about you, Sota. Your grandfather also used to mumble Sota, Sota every day.
The moment the mention of Grandpa made me tear up.
Grandpa?
Otoha started crying beside me. After that, I received a call during the day, and Otoha came over to my house. She had just learned of Grandpa's passing, and she came over to light incense. Her eyes filled with tears.
Grandpa must have been happy that Otoha is grieving so much. Thank you, Otoha.
Otoha, who had played with me a lot when we were young, often came to my grandparents' house, which wasn't far away. Come to think of it, Otoha has always stayed in this town, right? I thought she must have left her hometown by now. When I asked that, Otoha's always lively expression clouded. Something must have happened.
Actually, I quit my job and came back. I just couldn't continue anymore.
Turns out, Otoha had been working as a caregiver in another town, but she had to quit a few months ago due to some reason.
It's pathetic, huh? I never realized my heart was this weak.
I was desperately trying to find the right words to say.
Otoha's heart is kind. She doesn't look away from the sadness in front of her and keeps everything in her heart. She needs to release the sadness that's swelling up in her heart, little by little.
It's okay to go slow. Grandma smiled gently, and both of us felt a sharp pain in our throats. I really love Grandma. And Grandpa, yeah. The warmth I felt from Grandma's words, it felt so comforting. I wanted to stay close to it forever. I shouldn't ask about what happened with Otoha right now. Grandma wakes up early. She starts getting ready while it's still dark outside, and takes care of the plants Grandpa cherished. It smells nice.
Yes, Grandpa took such good care of them with his whole heart. It's called Mokobara, you know. Since he became bedridden, I had to learn how to care for them for him.
Wow. I always thought Grandpa was like a knowledgeable scientist who knew everything. He was so cool, and it made me want to see the world and learn so many things. But I should have talked to Grandpa more. It's like when Mom and Dad passed away. I realize I regret the same thing every time.
It's not easy to live without regrets. Even I, who spent so much time with Grandpa, still have regrets.
I see. By the way, Grandma, do you feel sad when I talk about Grandpa? I didn't want to make Grandma sad. I didn't want to burden her with my selfish regrets. But...
That's not true. When I talk about Grandpa, my chest feels warm.
she said and gently placed her hand on her chest.
That's why I want to talk to you more, Sota. About Grandpa. I'll tell you anything I know. Even the silly stories about Grandpa.
Grandma smiled playfully, then lowered her gaze and continued softly.
Grandma?
At that time, I didn't realize that Otoha, who was crying with her hand on her chest, was listening to Grandma's words. After that, Otoha started coming over almost every day, because...
You're worried about Grandma during the day, right?
Yeah, her legs and hips are getting weaker, so I'm worried she might fall, especially with the stairs and everyday activities.
I see. Don't worry. If that's the case, leave it to me. After all, I have experience working at a home care service.
That night, Otoha was really enthusiastic. Spending time with Grandma and Otoha was really fulfilling.
Grandma, I finished the laundry. Oh, thank you, Otoha. You really helped me.
I finished taking care of the home garden on the balcony, Grandma. I hope the summer vegetables grow strong.
I'm sure you two will be able to take good care of them.
By the way, Otoha and I started dating with marriage in mind. We're now engaged. And the next day, as I rushed home from work...
Sota, what a coincidence. I didn't expect to run into you here.
Uncle? What are you doing here so late?
Oh, I was just talking to Grandma. She said she had something to discuss.
Discuss? Grandma never mentioned anything like that to me. Watching my confusion, my uncle smirked and then spoke in a nasty tone.
Grandma has decided to go into a facility after all.
What? Why so suddenly?
Things have changed, and Grandma has agreed to it. She said she doesn't want to be a burden to you anymore.
Wait, please. I don't think of it as a burden. In fact,
Even so, huh? Grandma is my mother. You don't have any right to intervene in this. I agreed to let her stay for a while, just because of your selfishness. I should at least be thanked for that, don't you think?
My uncle smirked, provoking me. Since my father was around, I had always disliked this kind of attitude from my uncle. Please, let me live with Grandma. I'll bow my head as many times as I need to, as long as I can be with Grandma.
I see. If you're saying that much, I'll set some conditions.
Conditions?
Yeah. You mentioned you were assigned to the sales department, right? I want you to bring a contract for our company's new product. If you do that, I'll promise to let you keep Grandma and not send her to the facility. How does that sound? Not a bad deal, right?
I see. So that's what this is about. Today, there was a mention of sales from my uncle's company during the meeting. My uncle's company is a small manufacturing company. They probably want to do business with my big trading company. So this was the real reason he easily accepted Grandma living with me. My uncle was only thinking about himself. I glared at him fiercely. Then...
So that's what it was.
Grandma, you heard all of this, didn't you?
Yes. Unfortunately, my hearing isn't great, but I could still hear your nasty comments from inside the house.
Damn, I always had to ask you to repeat yourself, but you were doing it on purpose.
Sota, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause you trouble with your work.
Grandma, it's not like that. I just want to be with Grandma.
Enough already. Who do you think you are, meddling like this? You grandson? You're just pretending to be a good grandson, trying to get close to Grandma, and thinking you'll take all the inheritance, right?
What are you talking about? That's not true at all.
Shut up. Your father was the same. He was weak, whiny, always locked up studying like a recluse. That guy, who got a better job than me, tried to act like the perfect son in front of our parents, trying to look good. I've always hated both of you. I've hated you both for so long. You know this too. I'm the firstborn of the Fuderichi family. Now that Dad's gone, I'm the head of the family. Unlike that unfilial emo who passed away before his parents did.
My father was always so grateful to his parents, always happily telling me how he would repay them. He was weak, but the thing he feared the most was leaving his parents behind. Shut up! If you insult Dad further, I won't forgive you.
Huh? What? Are you trying to stand up to me and make it so you can't live with Grandma anymore?
Shut up. Me and my dad, we're not like you. I'd give up my inheritance, money, and land anytime. If you want it so bad, take it all. Money and land? I can earn that myself if I try hard enough. I'll work hard and make money my own way. But you know what? Time with Grandma, once it's gone, I'll never get it back. I regret not remembering the last conversation I had with Grandpa. And I feel the weight of the fact that the time I had with my father, mother, and Grandpa will never come back. What I want, Uncle, is what the important people leave in your heart. Those irreplaceable, intangible things. I want to tell my dad in the afterlife the happy stories about the days I spent with Grandpa and Grandma. My uncle hesitates slightly at my intensity, but finally, my aunt opens her mouth.
How can you speak such pretty words without shame? You've been lining up nice-sounding words, but in reality, you probably want to make your grandma drop a will, right?
That's not what I intend at all.
How do you know? Are you planning to ask for lifetime gifts or something? I won't allow that. Honestly, why do you think I took on the care and looked after her? Kaneko-san? Huh? What is it, Mother? I was the one who cared for him until the end. I don't recall you ever doing anything for us. I noticed that you and your husband started living with us out of selfishness and concern for your image.
My aunt shows a clear, guilty reaction. She had always talked big but did nothing. Grandma took care of Grandpa when he was bedridden. They relied on her even for their meals.
I never knew. If I had known, I would never have let you live with us. What a lie. I did it because it was our dear son who said so.
Grandma speaks resolutely. Looking at her, Uncle freezes in place.
No matter the reason, this child is our dear son, and you his partner, so I accepted you both. I never once forgot the day my first child was born.
My uncle looks confused. Whether it's regret or something else, I don't know.
Don't worry. I have no intention of preparing difficult paperwork to pass everything to Sota. If I did that after I'm gone, I don't know what you two would do to him. But how I live while I'm alive, that's my decision. I won't let you two decide that. What? I'm happy that Sota feels that way. I'm lucky to have such a wonderful grandson.
Grandma.
As long as you don't tell me you can't care for me anymore, I want to live with you, Sota. There's so much more I want to talk about with you, especially about Grandpa. So don't make that face, Sota. Thank you so much.
Grandma's smile and words make my tense heart melt. I feel relieved. But suddenly...
How ridiculous. What a soft family this is. I can't stand the thought of this foolish grandson squandering the inheritance. Do you know why I married this guy?
She plans to put Grandma in a facility, take control of her savings, and stop the inheritance from diminishing.
Let me teach you, you naive grandson. Life's not that sweet. When the time comes for real care, you'll find it hard to live. You might even have to quit your job. All that hard work at the big company.
My aunt tried to stir up my worries and make me give up again. But...
That's not a problem.
Oh, Otoha! Had she come to see Grandma? Otoha stood there, eyes teary, holding a shopping bag.
Who are you? Outsiders should stay quiet. No, I'm his fiancée, and I'm going to marry Sota Furichi soon. I'm not an outsider besides. If care is needed, I, with my caregiver certification, will take full responsibility for caring for her. Sota's grandmother. She saved my heart, so I'll do this for her.
Yes, the reason Otoha quit her caregiving job and returned to her hometown. It was because the death of her grandmother, who lived far away, left her feeling devastated. My grandmother and Otoha's grandmother were old acquaintances, and my grandmother had noticed Otoha's feelings. Uncle, I'm not going to make any deals with your company, and I won't give up the time I spend with Grandma. As long as she allows it, I won't let go.
Fine. Do as you please.
Uncle mutters quietly, and they leave the scene. It seems my uncle was confident the contract with our company was guaranteed. But that plan failed, and it escalated into a responsibility issue with the company due to false reporting. His relationship with my aunt also deteriorated. My aunt, who had been after the inheritance, no longer had any love for my uncle. The divorce proceedings turned into a messy battle. Based on testimonies from Otoha and others, it seems she might be able to claim the alimony. As a result, my uncle, who had rapidly deteriorated both mentally and physically, disappeared somewhere. My aunt, who had married for the inheritance, found remarriage difficult due to her age. And after paying the alimony, she somehow managed on part-time wages. Unfortunately, she tripped, hit her head, and passed away in the hospital.
It bloomed beautifully beautifully this year too, dear.
The next spring, I'm still living with my beloved grandmother. This year, the cherry blossoms danced, and the yellow moss rose bloomed proudly in the garden. Grandma closes her eyes on the porch, speaking softly to Grandpa in her heart. She looks peaceful and happy.
Honey, I'm not lonely at all. I have countless memories with you. As long as I have these memories, I'll be with you over there too. If my days with you are the inheritance in my heart, then that's enough for me.
Yes. Thank you for the precious inheritance, dear.
Grandma and Grandpa's final conversation, a special treasure between them that I didn't know about. Grandma, if you sleep here, you'll catch a cold.
She looks so happy. Maybe she's dreaming of something nice?
Yes. Hey, Otoha, let's live every day so that we leave something in each other's hearts. For me, the most valuable inheritance is the words, time, and memories I receive from the people I love. Looking at the yellow moss rose with its flower language of, for the one who deserves you. I remember my father, mother, and grandpa, and even our ancestors. I'll never forget my gratitude.
Hello, this is Brittany here. They got me again with these sad, wonderful episodes. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!